Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here. So today I want to talk about the difference between what is basically a fairy tale reality of how you would like things to be and how you believe things should be, and the real reality that exists, and why it's so important that you understand and you grasp and you just accept the real reality. This is something that's been ingrained into us, that we've been taught as little kids, that the movie plots of every Disney movie kind of show us, and it's not a real reality. This is kind of this viewpoint, this kind of romantic viewpoint. Somehow you're unique, somehow you're special, somehow the stars are going to align and everything is just going to happen for you. You're going to fall in love, you're going to make money, everything is going to be great, and that the world should be fair and people should be loyal and all of these type of things, right? There's a lot of these concepts that we have. A lot of them revolve around the way that people should treat us and the way that people should behave. Most people have this fantasy, this false reality of believing that people are loyal. And that's not very true, right? In general, even your most loyal of friends, even your family, significant others, those people are loyal under a certain context. And if you really examine yourself and you really examine your own loyalty, you'll find that to a very large degree that it is based on consequences, on feelings at the time, and that even if you are, quote, loyal, not betraying someone in your actions, it may be so in your mind or your thoughts. You may want to. All those really fucked up shit that goes on in your head, or that sometimes that maybe you do, those things are actually going on in other people's heads. And this is kind of the weird, interesting thing that we don't think about, right? Because we have certain expectations on other people to behave a certain way. I was just talking to someone about this example about how, you basically have to not have expectations on other people, right? I think I've done a video on not having expectations. Definitely I've got a playlist on external validation. It's very similar, but this idea is that we have expectations on other people and how they should behave, how they should treat us, okay? And those cause us to become butthurt, right? Anytime we're butthurt, we're wrong. When you're butthurt in life, what it means is that you're not accepting reality, right? Is that you have seen reality and it's showing what it is, and you're like, that's fucked up, or that's wrong, instead of just saying, oh, interesting. Not what I wanted, but that is reality, so I accept it. You see what I'm saying? There's a very, very big difference. And when you are constantly putting expectations on people, when you're constantly expecting reality to be something different, or people to behave differently than you even behave in your own head, right? Then you're going to be disappointed all the time. You're going to find that you're running into situations all the time where you're getting hurt, where you're being abused, where you're the victim, right? And this is this is again one of those things that leads to the victim mentality, right? If you have a very solid view of reality and you realize that the world is kind of fucked up, like people do fucked up shit, there's fucked up situations that happen, crazy stuff that happens. When shit happens, when your friend is unloyal to you, when I don't know, when someone treats you poorly, okay, when the thing that you're supposed to have, that you deserve, you don't get that raise or that promotion, it doesn't matter to you. It doesn't cause you a great amount of dismay, right? Whereas when you have this view, this thought, this fairy tale kind of reality, and you believe all these things, and you put these expectations on people, and you believe that people should behave a certain way, and that life should happen this way, and this is my degree of fairness, right? Then you tend to have a victim mentality, and you tend to get hurt all the time, and that causes you to not have very much control of your life, right? So this comes from this viewpoint of a couple things. One, you want to have the maximum control of your life. I have a video series on freedom, where I talk about what true freedom is and how freedom is one of the number one values, if not the number one value in my life. And that implies having control of your life, which means that you need to have control over your emotional state, your actions, the outcomes that you get out of life. And that's going to be based on you control. The only thing that you can control is here, right? Is here and here, your mind, yourself, right? Your spirit, you could say. You can control yourself. And so if you're reactive to people, if you have expectations on people, if you are seeking external validation from people, then what's going to happen is that you're not going to be in very much control of yourself. And then the second thing here is just by having this understanding, right? By having this understanding of what reality is and acceptance, not only is it going to give you more control of yourself, but it's going to allow you to live a much better, a much more peaceful life, right? And to avoid the ups and downs and the swings, right? That's the key. Like, so many people are looking for happiness, for validation, from all these things from other people. Ultimately, like, you have to become self-reliant. And that's the thing, is like, if you constantly like hold on to this false reality that most people have, right, of how other people are going to behave, how things should be, what is fair, you're going to be in a place where you're not self-reliant, right? Where when shit happens, it affects you extremely. So you have to see reality clearly, and you have to understand that reality is just like, it's so much more different than what you expect. Like, the way people are going to act and behave and what they'll do, you can't let that shit surprise you. You just have to kind of assume the worst out of people, but then it's not being jaded because you're accepting it. You're like, you know what? I'm a pretty fucked up human being, you're a pretty fucked up human being, so whatever the fuck that you end up doing, I'm not going to be upset at you for doing it, because I'm just as fucked up, and in certain contexts and situations, I would probably do the same thing if I could get away with it, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Again, it's not a jaded view, it's more of just an acceptance view, and the difference is that the jaded view says, people are fucked up, they're horrible, they're cruel, they do shit to me, I don't want to be around them. Whereas this acceptance viewpoint says, you know what, it's all right. Like, it's like, yes, whatever you're gonna do, it's fine. Like, you know, I might not accept at the time, or I may choose to distance myself from you, but I'm going to accept you as a human being, and it's all right. Like, I'm a fucked up person, you're a fucked up person. We can get along together as long as we can, and I'm not gonna have an expectation for you to not be fucked up, and I'm not gonna have expectations on reality, on life, to be fair to me. But I'm not angry, I'm not bitter about it. I just understand that this is just all part of the game. And when you have that viewpoint, all of a sudden life is going to be a lot more clear, a lot more smooth sailing, and you're going to have a lot more control over your life, and you're going to understand people better, because you're going to understand that all the shit that goes on in your head that's kind of screwed up, that's also what everyone else is dealing with, and people will sense that. They'll sense that you're not judging. And, you know, people want to be around people who aren't judging. So, all right, that's all I got for you today. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you click the subscribe button below. Click the bell so you don't miss any videos. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.